This is William K. Murtaugh, Witness 1. And today, I'm going to talk about relevancy. Now, I have been going on and off about Timmy Hoffa and his little group for quite a long time now. Several years. In the case of Timmy Hoffa, almost a decade. And it would seem that they are getting less and less relevant every day. And this lack of relevancy is now migrated over to where they are now on the obscure right-wing alternative social media websites. When they first went over there, they were being paid attention to. They were relatively popular. People praised them for their efforts and so on and so forth. But lately I've noticed a pattern. I've noticed that their audience is starting to change. And the one thing I've noticed is that the audience is starting to get turned off. One of the problems they're having is they continue to use that song. Now, there's nothing wrong with the song itself. It's just, it's used throughout the presentation for the most part. An increasing number of people find it annoying. They don't like the slideshow that is at the introduction and at the end. And they feel that there's very little substance. And their followers have also noticed something else. Now, the PPTF and Timmy Hoffa and Randy and all them profess to be QAnons, which I suppose they are, at least to some extent. They come across as supporters of Trump. They don't like Biden, and so on and so forth. And this helps give them the hook they need to garner new followers on these obscure social media websites. The problem is that only lasts for so long. And because of the way they are handling their channel, they're starting to get a reputation. And that reputation is that they are no longer relevant, that all they are a bunch of hangers-ons. They have come in thinking that they are going to take advantage of a movement or what have you. But all they're doing is they're fighting a local fight. They have an obsession with the lawyer from Southeast Florida. And so what it amounts to is a pissing match amongst a few people. Now, this sort of thing happened with the Anonymous. There were people that would migrate over to Anonymous and they would start up these local pissing matches. And the so-called true Anonymous got tired of it and simply ignored these people, because Anonymous is a political movement. It's not a social media battle movement. It's they have certain agendas that they bring forth, and they don't have time for fakes and people that just latch onto their movement and they don't mean what they say or say what they mean. And the same thing is true of this PPTF. The one thing that QAnons recognize fairly quickly is that the PPTF is a fraud. It's a phony. It's some fantasy club made up by some woman in the living room of her house as a hobby or a way to get attention. It's not relevant. And it's beginning to sink in. Now, I suppose the same thing is happening to my channel, because all I do is I carp on about these people day in and day out. And admittedly, that's why I created the channel in the first place, at least this part of it, because I was trying to expose a group of people as frauds. And what is happening is my effectiveness, slurring that word, but anyway, I'm not having the proper effect anymore. People are getting tired of hearing about it. It's the same thing over and over again. There's nothing new. It's a nothing burger, and they're starting to move on. And that's a signal to me that I'm either going to have to adapt or I'm going to be irrelevant myself. Now, I've tried to do this in the past, and I'm going to try and do it again. Whereas I am going to roll back considerably my talks about these individuals. Because in the end, nothing is going to change. There is one person in this fiasco that could end this today. You know, she could pick up the phone, make a call, maybe file a piece of paper, do something, and end this stuff today. And she chooses not to. And so, there's a point where it is no longer relevant to fight this battle. People already know who the players are. They know they're frauds. They know what they've done. They know what they do on a daily basis, and they know what they will probably do tomorrow. And so because of that, it's not really worth getting on here day in and day out yammering about these individuals. I'm better off doing something else. And so that's where I'm going. I've already started, and I'm going to continue down the path of receding a little bit from the daily mobile-thons. I'm not doing live streams for a while because I have an extremely busy schedule on the outside. I have important things that I do, at least to me, offline, and I just feel that all this yammering is becoming a waste of my time. Now, hopefully, as the days wear on and we start getting the virus under control, some of the trials that we've been waiting for will start to work their way through the courts, and I will have new things to talk about as these cases progress. There's little bits and drips and drabs here and there about when things are going to happen, and things are starting to pick up a little bit, so that's a signal to me that I need to start changing direction a little bit. And so that's what I'm doing. And as for Timmy Hoffa, the PPTF, the High Command, and so on and so forth, unless something really dramatic happens, like somebody finally gets arrested or what have you, there really isn't nothing to talk about. People are receding into their own self-imposed exile. They're basically yammering among themselves. They trade their links back and forth among themselves. And nothing is reaching Twitter. Nothing is reaching the outside. And they're being ignored for the most part. And so it's time for me to do the same thing. I mean, you know, there's always Twitter. You know, we can talk about them on Twitter and elsewhere, but I think as far as this channel is concerned, it's kind of time to close the file to a large degree and concentrate on more worthy pursuits. And so I close with this. It is my intent to change the format of the channel to discuss things that may be more interesting. Criminal actions, trials, other things out there that have more relevancy than the group of grifters that I've had to deal with all these years. And so with that, I would appreciate it if you would like, subscribe, hit the notification button and share, and stay tuned. Because hopefully, as the day goes by, we'll find something more interesting to talk about. So until then, this is William K. Murtaugh, Mert Witness 1. Have a good one.